When mixing songs together, there are 5 things you have to consider. Number 1, how much of each song do you play? Number 2, where is a good place to mix in your new song? 3, are the BPMs of both songs close enough that you can mix both songs together? 4, how long do you have to mix in your new song? Like, do you have a short intro or a long intro or no intro? And number 5, how long do you play both songs together for when you mix them? So here's the thing, in this video, I'm going to cover all of these questions with the goal of giving you a fresh perspective on DJing that you can basically use to make all of your transitions work, whether you know the song or not. So let's jump in. Number 1, how much of each song do you play?
Dancing tonight.
Now, honestly, I did when I was younger. I fell into a thing where I was mixing quickly. Okay, it's very easy to do. And I'll be straight, I'm probably more into the deeper stuff these days. But when I was younger, there was a point where the EDM stuff, right, or the big room, like probably about 8 years ago, it was huge. And I'll be honest, the energy in the clubs, it was amazing. And to be honest, to come in, I was going through a thing where I was like mixing fast, and that means, replacing the drop, coming into the break, putting build-ups, and really creating energy when I played. But then, I'll be honest, when I've listened back to some of those mixes that I pre-recorded, some of the songs, like sometimes they're a little bit hard to listen to. Like it's like they're moving a little bit quickly. And I'm finding now the sets that are a bit more enjoyable to listen to are sometimes where I've allowed the song to actually play. Like I remember once I had this Daft Punk Around the World remix, and it was building up, and I used to just play like 1 minute of probably this thing, create people, and then go to a big drop. But then I had that same one in another mixtape I did where I let it play longer, just like another extra minute even. And to be honest, I was thinking to myself by listening back to it, that was so much of a better place to mix. But I think sometimes DJs get caught up with thinking how fast they mix is how good they are as a DJ, when really I think what makes a good DJ is how much atmosphere you can create. So to be honest, if you put on a song and it's going really well, maybe just let it play. So I saw someone did a message, so sorry for not remembering your name, but someone did a message saying they can't get the balance right between like how much do they play, like they can't get that, they're recording themselves and it's not sounding right. So I'm hearing this all the time. A lot of people do fall into one or the other. They fall into playing too much of the song all the time, and that in that case it gets boring. And other people get into the habit of mixing too quickly, where it honestly sounds like you've drunken too much coffee and it's a little bit go. And people hit the dance floor, you've gone to another song, and they've heard their favorite song, they've run to the dance floor and you've mixed out already, and a lot of people don't like that. So it is about finding that balance. So personally, what I do a lot, I would probably be mixing in after the first chorus a lot of the time. Okay, so that means probably 2/3 of the time. But then when I put on a song and it gets a really big response, then I think playing a full song occasionally actually balances out those quicker mixes. So probably 2/3 of the time mixing fairly quickly, and then 1/3 playing a bit more of the song to kind of like draw it out a little bit. And I found by doing that, like I put it on, I see the response, and maybe I was planning to mix that song quickly, but if it gets a huge response, maybe actually let the song play. So again, it's about atmosphere, and if people love the song, maybe just let them hear it. So number 2, where is a good place to mix in your song? So let's imagine I've got a song playing here. Whereabouts do I mix in to make everything line up? And here's the thing, you've got to kind of be careful of the choruses, I'd say. Like the chorus is probably the main part of the song. So let's say I'm doing hip hop now. It's an extreme example kind of thing. So it's definitely, the reason I'm choosing hip hop and vocal driven music right now to explain this is because it's definitely got that pattern of verse chorus. Now, if you don't know what the chorus is probably where they're singing the name of the song. So here's the thing, right? Let's imagine I put on a song and then all of a sudden it's about to go to the chorus and I mix out and I don't play the chorus. People get upset by that, man. So generally speaking, the most popular place to mix is to come in after the chorus, because then you let people hear the main part of the song. But now this actually leads into the first one too. So that means, well, which chorus? So with your hip hop, you might have 3 choruses, like the first, second, and third chorus. So to be honest, do I bring my new song in after the first chorus? Do I come in after the second or the third? And again, crowd response. So if I put on a song that doesn't go too well, I probably come in after the first chorus. If I'm playing classics that everyone loves, I probably come in after the second chorus. But if I put on a song and everyone loves it, like everyone, like it's new, it's just, I see the electricity on the crowd, maybe I come in after the third chorus. But again, it can differ from genre to genre. So here's the thing, with some of the techno stuff, like I've been working on a techno playlist that I'm going to do for you guys. And I found with that, you can draw out your transitions a lot longer, and it's more about, like, there's a lot of bass in some of them, but then maybe there's one song drops out and doesn't have a lot of bass, and I could bring the bass of another one. It's really then about layering your songs, you know what I mean? But again, I still would be mindful of messing with the big parts. So even though some of those songs might not follow this verse, chorus thing, but if you're going to call anything the chorus, probably call the main part of the song. So with the techno stuff too, I might have these bits where it really pulls back and then it kicks in hard. And I'm just saying, in that hard bit, let's call that the chorus, maybe there's stuff happening. And if I go cut that in half, like, you know, people are going off to that. So you've got to be kind of mindful of that. So that means, generally speaking, if I was mixing, what we want is maybe the song to drop off a little bit. And if it drops off, like let's say there's a platform in the middle of the song, it kind of like drops back, there's like a cool bit where there's not much going on, that's usually the safest place to mix. But what happens is, right, people, I'm going to do a video on this next actually, and that is how people come in. And what a lot of people do is they hit play where they want to bring their song in. So they wait for the platform and hit play there. Now, if you're playing on a controller where you can hit sync, you can probably get away with that. And I used to mix like that too, hitting play where I was bringing it in. But if you're on the club gear, hitting play where you want to bring it in. So let's say the chorus drops off and I hit play. That means I'm beat matching, doing the volumes, doing all this all at once. So personally, I actually like setting cues actually. And what I do is I find choruses, maybe go back a couple of phrases. And then if I come in earlier, I've got a little bit of time to draw out my transition, get my songs in sync, and then I can come in, and by the time the chorus drops off, my new song takes over and I've given myself some time to beat match. But if you're not sure about all that and the different types of transitions, actually check out my next video that's coming up, and that's really cool. So generally speaking, where's a good place to mix in your new song? Find something clean, you know what I mean? That's really cool. So a lot of people just opt for the outro. Personally, right, because then the chorus ends and the outro is very safe. And if you're a beginner, that would be one of my first things on my online courses. Like, you know, once I've got you kind of phrasing, doing the mixing process, beat matching, understanding all the gear, how it all works, putting you into some intros and outros. But once you get used to it, then maybe start coming into the middle. But when coming into the middle, different things can happen. It can be a little bit more risky. And that's where things sort of start, you know, it's a lot of fun then, but you probably need a bit more experience. Now, number 3, are the BPMs of both songs close enough that you can mix both songs together? Now, here's the thing, it depends on where you're playing, but my personal advice is that not everything has to be beat matched. And what I mean by that is, okay, first of all, okay, let's say you're playing house music. Chances are that if you're playing specific genres of music, that all those BPMs are fairly close to each other. So if I'm doing a tech house set, yeah, everything's going to be in a range of 3 BPMs or 3 to 5 BPMs difference, and I can beat match that comfortably, right? And just quickly on that, what they do say is that you can move the BPM 5 BPMs from its original speed without really affecting the actual original feel of the song. So what I mean by that is, let's say I've got a song at 90 beats per minute and another one at 100. I could move them both 5 and make them 5 in the middle. And I could even move the one playing 5 BPMs while it's playing. And as long as that's on, and people won't notice, like say now, say, let's have a look, that's playing, I'll move it 5. That's 4. And to be honest, let's say I'll go into a main bit here. Right, so there's that, right? I've moved it, that's already 5 faster. Let's say I can take it back. Okay, so I've moved it then another 5 back again. I'll be honest, you can do that comfortably. So that means if I had one at 120, 130, meet them both at 125, you can do that. But let's say then I'm at a party, okay? Now, when playing at parties, it's probably more about song selection, actually. And what I found, there was a point in my life where I did a few weddings and that, because I had my nightclubs. My first ever club I was running every Friday night. But then through my first winter, like I was, you know, there was some ups and downs in the club scene. And what happened was I was doing some weddings and that on the weekend just to kind of make some extra money. And there's really good money in it. But it does mean playing like more commercial music. And what I've found is with the commercial music, the BPMs are all over the shop. And so here's the thing, I see this all the time. don't compromise, right, the perfect song at the perfect time for what you can beat match. So here's the thing, let's say I'm playing and I'm reading the crowd and I'm just thinking, oh, okay, this, and maybe I get an idea for a song and I think this song would work really well next. And let's say it's 20 BPMs different to what I'm currently playing. To be honest, right, I might just fade out at the end of the chorus and hit play, and I'll be honest, right, if my intuition was correct and it was the right song for the right moment, people on the dance floor are going to care way more about song selection than they are doing the perfect mix. Again, I was teaching this girl recently, actually, I hope she's not watching this, but I did some one-on-ones with her, and she was putting her mix together for her final class, and we were having a listen to it, right? But she made that one vital mistake. So she put together something really great, but then she had that Old Town Road song. Like a lot of my students actually do house and tech house and all that, but this student did. I do the commercial stuff too. I feel once you know how to DJ, you can do anything, and I have to kind of cater to that person's needs. So she was right into all the commercial stuff, and she had that Old Town Road song, and then all of a sudden after that, she did this perfect mix, but it was a song that was just a beat, no vocals or anything. And I said to her, listen, if you're playing in a club here and all of a sudden you got Old Town Road and everyone's sort of probably drunk enough to be into that, right? But let's say then, well, it's actually, I don't mind, but I'm just saying, let's say then people are singing along and then all of a sudden she's got that kind of high in the crowd and then it just drops off and she's got some perfect transition into a song that no one knows in just a beat. She'll lose her dance floor. No one cares about the perfect transition. They care about the song. She would have been better off just actually then fading out of the chorus dance, coming in with something strong. But then let's say then I do a BPM jump. So I'm playing, I'm reading the crowd and I think, oh, okay, you know what? This song's 20 BPMs different. I fade out. I could add some echo. You can even add spin backs and all that. I've got all that in my course, like different ways to hide transitions where you're not actually beat matching. But let's say now I've gotten to that song. So I've done a big BPM jump. I haven't beat matched it. But then if I didn't know what to play next, sure, I'd look at what I can beat match. And I'd probably be beat matching most of the time, but not just picking songs based on what I can beat match. Picking songs that I think are going to go well, but if I can beat match it, then win-win. So yeah, not everything has to be beat matched, but if you can mix anything that's within 10 BPMs of each other. Now, the next thing is, this is a big one for DJs, and one of the things that new DJs make the most mistakes with, and that is they're not sure how long do you have to mix in your new song. Now, I guess this honestly depends on where you're getting your music from and what kind of music you're playing. So what I mean by this is, okay, let's say with house music in general, they probably give you a much longer intro at the beginning, which means you've got lots of time to mix in your new song. So I can actually hit play. Maybe I've got a minute intro. I could hit play further back before maybe at the same time the chorus starts. And maybe sometimes the chorus and the intro are the same length. And I come in at the beginning of the chorus with the volume down. I've got some time to beat match, come in over the end of the chorus. That chorus finishes, my new song takes off. And it's beautiful. I've got plenty of time. But with the more commercial music, well, not only are the phrases only 4 bars and the dance music phrases are 8 bars, but with the more commercial music, it's not necessarily built for DJs. So I'd say one of 3 things could happen with commercial stuff. Maybe you've got no intro at all. So let's imagine House of Pain, Jump Around back in the old days. It's like, dun, dun, and then that means if I was playing that song, it's got no intro. It's very hard to mix. So it'd have to be one of those fade moments where I fade out, maybe put some echo on and I could go dun. And then if that song went back in the day, that would be huge. It wouldn't matter. But other times with the more commercial stuff, you might have a 4-bar intro and other times an 8-bar intro. Now, the longer the intro, the better. You're going to have more time to work with it, right? So if you having big intros is important too, right? Size does matter. I'm just joking. But anyway, right? You can get all intro versions of your songs through DJ Pool. So let's say you are a commercial DJ and you're having a lot of trouble. Maybe you're downloading all your stuff off YouTube and you've got not only small file sizes, but you've actually got no intros and stuff, and the song's sort of, I don't know, maybe not downloaded that well, and you're having a lot of trouble. Honestly, go to BPM Supreme or DJ City. When you download the song, get the extended version or the actual intro version. And what that means is you're going to have 8-bar intros all the time. Now, I've got a video on my free videos thing where I'm showing you how to mix without cues, but let's say with commercial music, just quickly, right, that maybe your choruses a lot of the time might be 8 bars in length. And if I've got an 8-bar intro, what I could do is I come in at the start of the chorus, they're both the same length, and then I've got some time to mix in over the end of the chorus. The chorus drops drops off and my new song comes in, and that's actually ideal and perfect. But when you've only got a 4-bar intro, well, to do it properly, it's probably going to bring in looping, but then it's like looping, giving you more time to tease it in, but then it's mainly about exiting the loop so the phrases line up, which honestly might be a little bit too advanced for a beginner. So for beginners, right, let's say you're a complete beginner and you want to play rap, okay? To be honest, I'm into it. I'm into all music. I probably feed more personally off atmosphere. So lately, like, you know, and just music in general, to be honest, I'm into everything. Lately, I've gone through a bit of a drum and bass thing, and, you know, I feel once you can mix, you can do everything. But that's the thing that I'm saying, once you can mix. So for you to start on rap where you've got pretty short intros, could be singing the whole way through, what I'd suggest is maybe actually start with some house music where you have longer intros and you've got more time to draw out your transitions because there's less singing the whole way through. So it's the same mixing process with rap as it is with house music, but with house music you have a lot longer. So that means you're not so, and if you just jump straight into mixing rap for the very first time ever and you want to mix it properly, like beat match it, I'm not talking about just fading between songs, anyone can do that, but you're trying to mix it properly and you've got very short intros. And, you know, to be honest, it's like throwing someone into the deep end that doesn't know how to swim. They're going to, you know, it's all bad. So you need to kind of like learn how to swim, learn how to DJ, then you can master that. And like I said, like in my course, right, I'm sorry to push the course, I'm just so passionate about it, but I just seen what it does for people. But it follows a sequence, and I'd get people kind of mixing, like it follows, and I can have you doing all the pro stuff massively, and even do big BPM jumps. I go massively, like these are just videos are just freestyle, the course is like the real deal. So anyway, so in short, how long do you have to mix in your song? It is something to be aware of. So for the house, you probably got generally longer because it comes down to the size of your intro. And for the more commercial music, well, if you want 8-bar intros, check out the DJ pools. Otherwise, and this is in my setting cue points video on my free course, which I'll link in below, I've done where to set cues. And let's say if I was doing more commercial music, maybe I'd not only put a cue on the first beat, but maybe a warning cue where the vocal kicks in. So when I load the song, I know how long I've got to mix it in and where to come in to phrase it properly. So okay, so then number 5, okay, how long do you play both songs together for? Now again, all these questions, they all interrelate with each other. So this again depends a lot on genres. So here's the thing, with house music, generally speaking, let's say I'm coming in over the end of the chorus drops off, I swap my basses, and then usually with house music, after the chorus finishes, say the exiting song, it could drop off into a cool beat or something, and maybe it gives me a platform to kind of like do a really cool mix. Now, when doing house music, right, I think there's 3 main things that can happen, especially when mixing into the middle of the song. So number 1, maybe it drops off and goes your way. Like they say with the techno, like I found I was doing a techno video that I'm about to release, and I just found I could really draw out my transitions a long way. And it was all about EQ methods, actually, about highlighting certain sounds. So maybe there's a cool cymbal on this or a cool snare and driving the bass on another. And it was actually a lot of fun. And that stuff I could really, really draw out. And the chorus might drop off and you can draw it out a lot longer. But then other times what could happen is you're mixing house music and maybe it drops back and you're playing your songs together, but then your exiting song might start kicking in. Now, a lot of people panic. They think, oh, geez, you know, like, isn't DJing all about knowing your songs? But I disagree. I think it's like you can get to know songs through playing them. It's actually a lot of fun. And what I've got in my course is this method. Let's say that song kicks back in, a way to kind of like hide it with the EQ and make it sound deliberate. So basically, if something's coming back in, you can be like, no, you're not, and you can make it sound good, whether you know the song or not. But the third thing can happen, especially, and this happens more with EDM, and that is, let's say I come in after the chorus, and maybe the song that I'm mixing out of, I'll give you an example actually, let's jump in. So I'll go and have a look at this. So maybe the song that I'm mixing out of goes into a little break. So that's, I don't know what the copyright is on that. Okay. Yeah, okay, so there's a copyright. Okay, sorry, I was just looking. That's one of the things that sucks about doing this. I've got to be careful of what's like not copyright and it's going to ban my channel or whatever. So I think this one's not. So, because let's go in. So let's have a listen to this. Okay, so I've got my chorus. 7, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2, 3, 4, bang. Okay, and then you've got this little break. Okay. Now, here's the thing, if there's a break after the chorus, the break isn't always 8 bars in length, and what might happen is it might go and then kick back in 4 bars later. And my advice is, right, let's say I'm coming in over the end of the chorus, I've got both songs playing together, and one song drops out for 4 bars and kicks in 4 bars later. Well, it's kicking in mid-phrase on my other song. So sometimes, especially when mixing EDM and some drum and bass and some trap, you might come in over the end of the chorus, you swap your basses, and if you see your song dropping out and then the waveform coming in at a point that looks suspicious, like it's not coming in on a 1, it looks kind of a bit dangerous, I'd probably just fade it out. So again, how long you play both songs together for depends a little bit on your genre. So I haven't done the commercial stuff yet, about to do that now, but just a little checklist. So with house, generally speaking, you can probably draw out your transitions longer, as after the chorus it probably drops off into something nice, and if the song kicks back in, you can probably take it in your stride, and I've got ways to show you how to do that. Number 2, say with EDM, well, you got to be careful of big bits, because then when it kicks back in for the EDM, it comes in hard. So all of a sudden, if it looks like your song's about to kick back in, you might just sort of get it out before it has a chance to come back in. And then the thing is, though, with more commercial music, your transitions are probably generally a lot quicker than, say, with house, because what happens is with more commercial music, there's probably singing the whole way through. And what happens is people come in over the end of the chorus and swap the basses like they do with dance music, and all of a sudden the next song kicks back straight into vocals. So what it means is, for that stuff, you have to come in over the end of the chorus and you swap your basses early, and you've got to round that song out, the Xing song out, before it goes into the verse. So it goes like you're coming in over the end of the chorus, and then all of a sudden you get that one out and it goes to the verse of this song. But if you play the 2 verses together, you got vocals on vocals. Now, you should definitely check out, see, I've got how to mix R&B, pop and hip hop, where I'll give you a demonstration on that. So that's actually, and even if you're not into R&B, pop and hip hop, I think learning how to mix vocal driven music can be a really good skill. It's going to make you a better DJ. And it also means if you're turning up to play at a party and all of a sudden there's all these people there and they're wanting to hear that, maybe sometimes you could actually give them what they want, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I respect the people that are just like, no, I do techno, no, I just do drum and bass, but I can also, sometimes you will be faced in a position where it's like, you know, you're at a house party and, you know, and all of a sudden maybe they're not vibing the techno, and then is it just like, oh no, I only do techno, or do you more kind of like play to create atmosphere, and can you be a little bit flexible? Now, there's no right or wrong answer for that. I'm just saying sometimes it's good to be able to make that decision and be able to go that direction without, and actually know how to mix anything. I actually think knowing how to mix anything is really, really cool. So I guess that's the goal, right? To get to a stage where you don't even have to think about the questions that we've covered in this video, and you can feel the right mix for the right time. But I'll be honest, I know from teaching thousands of people in Sydney that the only way to get people to that stage is through conditioning. So let's, for instance, say that you want to learn Thai boxing. Now, to be any good, right, you have to know what move to do at the right time under pressure. And this does come down to practice, and that means developing and conditioning techniques until they become natural. So someone does, you know, bang. I actually like Thai boxing, not violently, just like exercise. I'm into it, right? But the issue new DJs face is they go straight for the effects, right? Or basically they try to jam their music without spending any time preparing their tracks in their software. Or perhaps they're not even sure about the mixing process and they're just basically hoping for the best and just trying to make it work. Now, the truth is, right, you need some solid foundations. You need some structure to your learning. Otherwise, progress can be really slow. And I'll be honest, heaps of people I know just give up. And the people that do persevere, they basically learn the hard way. It's trial and error, which can be painfully slow and tedious. Now, you have to get your foundation super strong, which means conditioning. And personally, I would suggest following a step-by-step approach that you're only going to find in a course. Now, I don't want to do the whole promo thing. It's just that I know the power of my Club Ready DJ course and the results it gets on a consistent basis. And my mission is to get as many people Club Ready as I can. Now, sure, this channel gets you thinking, but these videos are nothing compared to the course. Allow me to be your teacher. I can have you Club Ready, and better yet, confident enough to play in clubs in under a month, 100% guaranteed. Anyway, it's your call. Be conditioned so you can become the strongest DJ on every single lineup, or you can reinvent the wheel like you don't need to. Now, anyway, either way, I appreciate you being part of this Club Ready tribe. I hope you're enjoying my free content, and I'm really excited to see what we we can accomplish together. Don't forget me when you're famous. Anyway, thanks guys.